What's going on, Delaware high school community? A little delayed this morning, had some technical difficulties and some other things I'm working on right here around the house, but we're here. Welcome to a brand new edition of Holding Court here on the First State Hoops Report YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Chris Stevens. I am the founding editor of First State Hoops Report and the host of the Holding Court podcast, which is a weekly recap of all the things that happened during the week during high school basketball in the state of Delaware. And it was a week. It absolutely was a week. So we won't waste too much of your time, but if you're interested in following First State Hoops Report all over the internet, there will be a description below. There will also be a link to my Cash App in the bio if you guys are interested in, donating to the cause to make sure that this one-man band continues to thrive under unique circumstances, but we're making it. So Unlock the Light was this weekend. And again, another great event, by the Sean Locke SL24 Foundation, of course, founded by Chris Locke, the father of Sean Locke, who, how do I say this? Yeah, because you're not supposed, we don't say committed suicide. We say died by suicide. Yeah, they say died by suicide. So, kudos to Mr. Locke for putting on a great event and helping other young people so they won't have to experience, their parents won't have to experience the pain that he experienced when Sean passed away. So it's a great weekend. They raised almost $700,000. That's a lot of money. And it's all going towards a great cause, which is mental health, advocacy and awareness and treatment for young people, which I said last week, we don't talk about enough. So it was a wonderful event. A lot of great things went on, from the standpoint of SL24 Foundation. It was a successful weekend, I would think, for them, and hopefully it continues. As far as the basketball, I don't know. I don't know if it's cold and flu season. I don't know if it's midterms, but there was a little bit of struggle ball going on down at Chase Fieldhouse this weekend. That's not to say the games weren't entertaining, because they were. They absolutely were. Let's start with the nightcap on Saturday. Salesianum and Sanford in overtime. 45-41. Sal's is 4-10 now. And so anybody who thought that Sal's was going to miss the tournament, you are sadly mistaken. They've gotten several big wins. Of course, the comeback win from over Middletown the previous Friday, which of course I was on the radio with Sean Green with. They went down to Smyrna and won. And this is their first 4-point win of the season. They get 2 points off of Sanford, who, of course, has a 701 or better winning percentage. And, of course, you get 2 points for a win. So Sal's is climbing up these statistics, better known as the charts. And they got another chance at another 4-point win this coming Tuesday when they visit Howard. Whoa. I'm not sure where that little bit of rasp came from, but it shocked the you-know-what out of me. But, yes, Sal's will have a chance at another 4-point win this coming Tuesday when they visit Howard. That is always a very contentious affair, if you will. So this Sal's team, they're starting to put things together. One of the big changes that Taylor Trevison made was putting Kevin Coleman in the lineup. And Kev is really, he was a talented player at Odyssey. He was a talented player at Tower Hill. And now he's starting to, be able to show that he's a complete guard, 6'3", 6'4". He can rebound, attack the basket, knock down the jump shot. Him and Trell, I think we're going to have to start talking about Latrell Wright from a first-team All-State perspective eventually, if we're not doing it already. He's rescued their season twice in the last week. There's not too much more you can ask of your point guard. He gets guys going, and he can get himself going. So RJ still plays a very pivotal role. Of course, he sat out the first half for Lord have mercy. I probably should have drank some water before I came over here. For disciplinary reasons, I believe, but he came in the second half, house of fire, played a really strong half of basketball, attacked the basket, had a lot of, mismatches, took advantage of those, grabbed the rebounds, protected the paint. So this Salesianum team, they got off to a really bad start. 1-9 is probably something that no one saw coming for them, but they're 3-1 in a stretch that they absolutely have to win about 5 games. So they have 2 games left to win before they make the state tournament. They got, let's see who's left. They still have Howard. They have another game with St. Mark's. They have a game with St. George. They have a game with Dover. They're not out of the woods completely, but if they split those 2, they're in the state tournament. And I mean, they'll play Tower Hill. I mean, they should. I mean, no disrespect. They should be able to beat Tower Hill. So that's 7 wins right there. And then when you add up all the bonus points, they might actually have a home game, which is crazy when you think about it. But like I said last week, schedule strong. Make your losses or wins count, no matter what. And Sal's does that all the time. I mean, they schedule the Philly League. I mean, the Philly Catholic League. They schedule the very best public school teams here in Delaware and the best private school teams here in Delaware. So they know what they're doing. They're always building for the state tournament. That's something that Taylor Trevison has told me each of the last 2 or 3 years I've talked to him before the season started. So good win for Sal's. I don't think this makes Sanford any less of a favorite to win the state championship. But you can tell that one thing that's going to have to change with them is they're going to have to figure out who the lead guard is. And this isn't a knock on Kareem. This is a knock on Azir. This isn't a knock on Nico. But they need to have a defined PG1, QB1, if you will. One who is going to set up the offense, look for his shot when he has to. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with having 3 good guards. I mean, look at Howard. Howard has 3 good guards. But it's pretty much defined that Nick Bass is going to be the point guard in that rotation, quite honestly. So I think that's one thing that Sanford's going to have to figure out is who's going to be the point guard coming down the stretch. But they're still very much a favorite. I was very impressed with Dwayne Jones outside shooting on Saturday. I didn't know he could shoot it like that. Made a couple early threes, and I was like, okay. Jaden had a pretty good game, even though he was hamstrung by foul trouble. Still trying to figure out how he got a technical in between the third and fourth quarter. Nobody really explained it to us on the baseline. So, but that's a big win for Sal's, but it doesn't make Sanford any less of a favorite. I mean, the top 5 right now, as I see it, it's Sanford, it's St. E, it's Dover, it's Howard. And I still like Odessa. Odessa didn't look the best against Middletown on Saturday, but they still won the game. That's a big win for them. Tyshawn Wilborn was very active in the paint. He scored 18 points, and he's another one of these undersized centers that has the athletic ability to play center in Delaware. He's about 6'3", 6'4", but he's a load down there. I mean, he's not as stout as RJ Johnson, but he still anchors his position and still is able to, get quick turns to the basket. And their guards, I mean, I was Jalen Bernicow, Henry Nasagari. Odessa has a complete team. I mean, the only thing is with Odessa is they haven't been to this part of town, to quote Andre 3000. So, this contender role is kind of new for them. I mean, they've always been a team that's been building towards this. Now you have expectations. You have expectations to win Flight A. You have expectations to win the Blue Hen. You have expectations to make the Final Four, or at least the Elite 8. And if you make the Final Four, a state championship should be within your sights. So that Odessa team is tough. I mean, Middletown, I still think that they can jump up and bite some teams in the butt. I mean, outside of Caleb Raifa, that's still a very young squad. I mean, Jalen Murphy is a sophomore. Bashir Holmes is a sophomore. King Savior is a sophomore. Coach Ali has built himself a team for 2026 and beyond. So, but they can still compete in 2025 too. It really just depends on the draw. So, about the draw, I got an interesting DM on the Instagram earlier this week from a coach who said, "You got to give us the numbers. We know you got the numbers." So, what I'm going to do is, since it is Sunday and there's no Super Bowl, there is the Grammys though. I'm absolutely watching the Grammys because I want to see who wins album of the year. But I think what I'm gonna spend Sunday after I, do my usual routine of exercising and cooking is I'm gonna sit down and get the numbers as best I can. I have a draft sheet already. I just don't put it on the 24 or more because I don't want to make anybody panic. I don't want to make anybody get too comfortable because, I mean, once kids and coaches start looking at the numbers instead of looking at who's in front of them, that's when things start to get a little shaky. And I don't want to be personally responsible for a team like, oh, wow, we're in the tournament. We can relax. Oh, wow, we're out of the tournament. We need to bust it. But if it helps people see how the point system shakes out, that's what I'll do. And a quick warning, These are unofficial totals that I'm going to be posting on Monday, because nobody really knows what the true records of these out-of-state schools are, because as much as we complain about the lack of updates on websites for sports here in Delaware, a lot of out-state teams on Max Preps aren't much better. In fact, they're probably worse. I think I saw a New York team that I was looking up that was 2-0 on January 27th. You didn't play more than 2 games by January 27th. Come on, dog. Be serious. But yeah. So yes, I will go ahead and publish that as we get towards, I'm going to publish it on Monday morning, and hopefully it'll give teams an idea of, why I put certain teams on the bubble, certain teams is safe, certain teams not even mentioned. But like I said, it has been a week. We've seen some upsets. For one, just the other day, the Indian River girls beat Sanford. Sanford was unbeaten in the Henlopen South until Saturday. That was a bit of a shock. Who else? Penn went to Odessa and beat Odessa. Didn't see that coming. And then, of course, Penn turns around and loses to Middletown. Honestly, didn't see that coming. So, Smyrna girls beating Ursuline, and yes, Gigi didn't play. Of course, Gigi had had to sit because she was ejected from a previous game, but she came back with a vengeance against Baltimore Poly on Saturday at the Unlock the Light. An easy 32. That's still a big win for Smyrna, though, because Eric Gums has a really nice team down there. He only has one senior, and that's another senior we need to be talking about for first team All-State, and that's Kai Burnett. And there's a lot of great girls around the state, but I don't think Kai gets enough pub because she plays at Smyrna. But when you look at this team right now, they're 11-2. They have a win over Smyrna. They are Smyrna. They have a win over Ursuline. They can take back first place in the Henlopen South if they beat Polytech. Henlopen North if they beat Polytech on Thursday. Oh my God, I'm so torn. Thursday is a big day for girls basketball. You got Caravel, who's 12-1. Going to Ursuline in the rematch of the state championship game from last year. And then Polytech and Smyrna is at the same time, 7 p.m. This is why I hope to eventually have a staff where I can send another writer to go cover one game and I can cover another, because both of those games are going to be prime time and I'm going to be flipping a coin. So I may even solicit help. Like if anybody, if I might just put a poll out, which game should we go to? Polytech, Smyrna girls, or Caravel, Ursuline girls? You make the call, that type of thing. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I'm going to do, but hopefully I'll have a decision made, because those are two big games. Polytech is 13-1. Raise your hand if you had Polytech at 13-1. Put them hands down. You see my hand didn't go up because I didn't see this happening. But that's a really good team down there, and they are in first place in Henlopen North right now. So it's them, Smyrna, Dover, Cape still in the mix. It's a very interesting race down there. It's an interesting last 2.5 weeks coming up at Delaware High School basketball, and I hope the regular season, mind you, and I hope we all enjoy it, because the state tournament is going to be just as crazy, just as frenetic, just as insane. And as far as picking a boys champion, I can't do it. There's so many good teams. There isn't one defined great team. There are some good teams that could really be great, and there are some really good teams that could become really, really good. And then there's some bracket busters coming down the pike. So I don't know. Boys champion, I ain't got it right now. There's no defined favorite. A lot of us picked Dover to repeat. I know Bruce Wayne picked Dover to repeat. He told me last night he's sticking by it. I'm like, you can do it. I can't. I cannot. And that's not a knock on Dover. It's just to say that St. E is really good. It's that Sanford's really good. Howard, you can't discount Salesianum, because if they get the right draw, they are definitely a Elite 8 team. Can't discount Penn, even though they're super young. Same for Middletown. Cape Henlopen is a team that could surprise some folks. Appo. It's impossible. We ain't picking no champions right now for the boys. I don't even think you can pick a defined champion for the girls. There's 3 or 4 teams that you can choose from, obviously. It's either going to be Ursuline, Caravel, or Sanford. Anybody else outside of that, it would be a shock. But I mean, man, that Ursuline Caravel game on Thursday is going to be prime time. And I really probably need to go to that one, but I still think that Polytech Smyrna game has fruit. Bears fruit, in terms of a competitive ball game, and tells you how far either one of those teams could go in the tournament. So, yeah, I'm torn, but we'll figure it out eventually. But yes, it has been a week. Where else did I go this week? Where was I Tuesday? See, the games all start, kind of run together at this point. When where was I Tuesday? I can't remember where I was Tuesday. I cannot remember where I was Tuesday. I was at Caravel Tuesday. Caravel St. Elizabeth Girls on Tuesday. That's right. St. E has a lot of young talent as well. I think their thing is just finding the best combinations. And I know Ty Taylor is going to get that down to a science eventually, but you have Skylar Bowman, you have Zamala Owens, you have Michaela Sullivan, Anissa Harris, who was a ninth grader. I didn't even know who that was until she scored like 13 points against Caravel on Tuesday. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. There's a lot to like about that St. E's team. They're really young. I mean, they don't have any seniors. So this whole team pretty much comes back in 2026. So you'd probably have to pencil them in as one of the favorites for 2026. I mean, you really can't dismiss them as a favorite for 2025. All depends on how the bracket shakes out. All depends on how they grow as a team throughout the season. But yeah, you can't discount St. E's either. But I still think it's going to be between Ursuline, Caravel, and Sanford. And right now, if you had to make me pick on the girls' side, I would have to say I have just a little more, I lean a little bit towards Caravel at this point. And that's not to say that Ursuline can't repeat. And it's not to say that Sanford can't win it. But I think right now, the way Caravel is playing, I mean, they're 12-1. They play an unselfish brand of basketball. They defend very well. They have two post players who can score, which is double more than most in the state of Delaware, boys or girls team, mind you. And of course, you have Speedy Wilson, who can go get a bucket. You have Cherish Bryant, who does a little bit of everything. Mackenzie Hunter, the sophomore guard, she's prone to, have a good shooting day every now and then, and that helps a lot. So, and they got bench players who can buy minutes. No, they're not going to wow you, but they can buy minutes and give the starters some rest. So that Caravel team looks really strong right now. I mean, we will know more on Thursday. That, again, that is a game of the year candidate off the rip. And I feel sorry for me trying to pick which game I'm going to go to on Thursday. But when you see me when you see the posts on Instagram and Twitter, you will know where I've gone. And I will probably, it'll probably be justified because either one of those games are going to be really good. But there's a lot of good games coming down the stretch because remember those 2 snowstorms that we had that pretty much moved everything around? Everybody's going to be catching up now. So it is a race to the finish line. We've gone out of marathon territory. We're now full sprint mode. This is a sprint towards the finish line, towards conference championships, towards state tournament berths, towards a home game, towards a bye. We've entered, everybody is just, ain't no more jogging now. It's just who can get there first and who can get there in the best shape. And that's what we're going to find out. So thank you guys for watching this edition of Holden Court. Greatly appreciate your time as always. Once again, as I said earlier, contact information will be in the description below. You can also donate to the cause by donating to my Cash App, which I will leave in the comments. And we will see you guys in the gym this week. I mean, there's a lot of great games to go to, and I think I'll be at least about 3, 4, maybe even 5, because of course there's a couple Sunday games. So one of those I'll hit up. So I will see you guys there. Enjoy your week. Well, you can't even stay cool because it's supposed to be like 55 degrees on Monday. Good Lord. Climate change, people. It's real. But yes, thank you guys for watching Home Court. See you guys in the gym. Till the next time we talk, y'all take care of yourselves and each other.